The sun burned bright over Mesa, Arizona, casting a relentless glare onto the pavement outside Sun Valley shooting range. Danielle Foster stood in the parking lot for a moment before stepping inside, her sneakers scuffing the concrete, her soft green backpack slung over one shoulder. There was no swagger in her gait, no bravado, just calm resolve. Inside, the air was thick with the acrid tang of gunpowder and machine oil. Sharp cracks echoed through the shooting lanes, blending into a metallic symphony of shots and shell casings. Danielle's arrival barely registered to most, but a few turned their heads, their eyes scanning her with casual judgment. She wasn't dressed like the others, no tactical boots, no Velcro patch jacket, no glossy gun case. Just a worn gray hoodie and that same steady look in her eye. At the far counter, a man in a ball cap leaned over to another regular and whispered something loud enough to drift Danielle's way. New girl? Looks like she brought a museum piece. The chuckles followed like smoke. Danielle ignored them. She moved to an empty lane at the back, unzipped her backpack, and carefully pulled out an old bolt-action rifle. The wood was dark, worn smooth by time and use. She touched it with a reverence that didn't need explaining. With slow, practiced hands, she loaded a few rounds, eyes fixed ahead. The first shot cracked through the lane, precise, clean, centered. No drama, no chistumping, just results. One by one, the holes on the target formed a tight cluster, each shot reinforcing the silence that had begun to settle. Nice shot, Grandma, a voice jeered from the next booth. Jason Weller, mid-20s, in a red flannel shirt, grinning like he'd just told the best joke at a party. Danielle didn't flinch. Another shot, another bullseye, another silence. Whispers started creeping in. Someone snickered about YouTube tutorials. Another muttered something about luck. The crowd thickened slowly, curiosity spreading like wildfire in dry brush. A stocky man with a clipboard strode over clearly the range manager. You new here? He called, loud enough for everyone to hear. Danielle nodded. We got a little friendly competition today. Feel like signing up? Danielle clicked the safety back on her rifle. Maybe, she said simply. She scribbled her name at the bottom of the sign-up sheet, right beneath a list of regulars who looked as if they were already planning their victory lap. Jason's laughter drifted again. But she can't even hit the broadside of barn. Danielle pressed the pen harder than necessary against the paper. Danielle Foster. You sure about that, ma'am? The manager asked. I'm sure. She returned to her lane, cleaned her scope, adjusted her gloves. Her rifle was an extension of her breath, her pulse. She hadn't competed in anything since leaving the Army. Hadn't fired outside her home workbench in years. But muscle memory never forgets. You any good, honey? Asked a woman beside her, salt and pepper hair peeking from beneath a camo cap. Danielle gave a soft smile. Used to be. Well, sometimes used to be is just sleeping, not gone. Danielle pocketed the phrase like a coin. The intercom buzzed. All right, folks. Competition's starting. Jason went first, of course. Swaggered to the line like a movie star. Fired off his semi-automatic with flair, shots landing decently. The crowd cheered. The regulars nodded. The room buzzed. Then came the others. Good. Not great. Enough to keep the room noisy. Danielle's name cut through the air like a razor. Danielle Foster. The volume dipped, not silence, but that collective breath before impact. She walked to the line, placed her rifle with care, adjusted the scope. No wasted movement. No words. The first target zipped. One shot. Bullseye. The next shot dead center. By the third target, the only sound was her rifle and the ticking scoreboard. Fourth. Fifth. All landed with surgical precision. The room felt suspended. She flicked the safety on, stepped back, calm as if she'd just finished her morning coffee. The manager cleared his throat. A highest score so far. Jason's jaw hung open. Danielle picked up her rifle, walked back to her bench. No one laughed now. The remaining shooters fired, but the room was changed. They missed. They hesitated. The tension twisted tighter. A woman approached Danielle with 2 coffees. Want one? Danielle smiled. Thanks, but I'm good. Her name blinked at the top of the leaderboard. Winner, Danielle Foster. Awkward applause followed. She accepted the plastic trophy and gift card with no ceremony. Just a nod. Someone muttered, "She must have gotten lucky." Danielle turned slightly. "Luck doesn't group shots like that." Nobody dared reply. Jason sat stiff, watching her. Eventually, he walked over. "You military?" "Something like that." "You shoot like it." "Long enough," she said, her gaze level. "Good shooting," he mumbled before walking away. Danielle packed up, her movements unhurried. The woman from earlier winked. "Told you." Sleeping not gone. Danielle smiled. Outside, the heat clung to everything. She welcomed it. As she reached her car, the manager jogged over. "Ever think about competing? We got connections. Big stuff. Real money. Not interested. But with your skills. Didn't come here to prove anything." She drove away, the range shrinking behind her. No headlines. No medals. Just a woman reclaiming a piece of herself. The road shimmered ahead, long and empty. The sun gilded everything in gold and shadow. Danielle tapped her fingers against the wheel. They didn't know her. Didn't know about the years in combat zones. About the choices made in silence. The memories that never left. She didn't blame them. But every now and then, it felt good to remind people. Real strength doesn't need permission. At a red light, she watched a father steady his daughter on a bicycle. Danielle smiled. She'd had enough war. Enough proving. Now it was time for peace. Her little apartment waited. So did her half-read book. The trophy rattled quietly in the back seat. Meaningless. But the fire it reignited at was hers. And maybe, just maybe, someone would remember. The next time they thought they knew someone just by looking at them. Danielle Foster knew exactly who she was. And that was more than enough.